All right, here we go. Drawing of the Three. Um, Book 4 of Stephen King's Dark Tower series. This is the limited edition matching set number 180. You can see right there. Very exciting. This is the first time that I'm opening this up beyond just looking at them to make sure they were real. So this one is interesting. It comes in a 2-book set. A lot of the other ones just have one book. This one also has on the cover, it's more of just a standard blue kind of coarse cloth slipcase. This one has just the traditional case showing the outside edge. So let's take a look at volume 1. Volume 1 is where all the fun stuff happens. That's where the signed uh, edition is with the author and the artist. So let's pull out number 1. So I try to be really careful with these. I want to make sure and protect the dust cover. Again, any of you professional book dealers out there that have any advice for me? I'm always concerned about these slip covers. These are very valuable, especially in pristine condition, but they're also the most susceptible to having damage happen because they're on the outside. So I always try to keep it inside the slipcase. So here is the outside of it with the awesome cover. It's got the blindfolded person with the bullet on front. So let's take out the slipcase. Again, trying to be so careful to make sure that they don't get damaged in any way. Okay. So there's the full case of it. If you open it up, it's got Stephen King in here looking young and fit. He's not looking so good these days, unfortunately. Be a national treasure when he's gone. Interestingly, this one does have an ISBN number. Some of them, like the Little Sisters of Aurelia, do not have an ISBN number. This one has a ISBN number and a price of $175 for this edition. And then on the back, it's got it's got the author on there, David McKean. David McKean on the back there. Sorry, I wasn't very familiar with that. So it's interesting how he has different artists doing the work for these. I don't know if it was a way of Stephen King trying to be help out different artists with their careers, or if it was just the style that he liked, depending on the mood of the book. But I do find that interesting that there are different artists for each, for a lot of them. Some of them have the same. So let's get into the good part here. So here's the outside, just has a standard white. It's kind of a glossy cover on it. Simply says the difference with this one is, of course, it says volume 1. So let's get into this beauty and look at these pages. So opens up, it's a nice pink, not really much there, just a pretty plain first page there. But now let's get to the good stuff. All right, here we go. Here is the signed limited edition. It says, this special first edition of the Dark Tower 4 Wizards and Glass, signed by author Stephen King and artist David McKean. This edition is limited to 1,250 copies, of which 1,200 are offered for sale. And this is number 180, as my whole set is. Again, with this one, some of the books I find in the middle of the series just have a flat black signature. The number is a little bit darker, kind of blue, and that one has a little bit thicker but thinner. But I wish they were all in color. Some of the good ones have red for the number and blue for Stephen King, and then black for the artist. So that's the Moneymaker page right there. Love it, love it, love it. And there is the insert. So let's go through some of the pictures in here. I think this one's got quite a few pictures, so I don't know if I'm going to go through each of them individually because I like to save. My biggest concern is, of course, keeping this nice and crisp right here where it's not curved in when people look at it. So I try to be careful to not get into this too much. But let's go through the first one. Here's the first page, first picture. Again, I have not read these in a while. I need to go back and read them again. So please forgive me if I'm not familiar with what all the drawings are showing. I need to be better at that, especially with these since I love them so much. More drawings in there. This one has quite a few drawings. I think this has got quite a few bit more than a lot of the other editions out there. Now, I'm not really a super big fan of these. They appear to kind of be maybe a watercolor. They're just very abstract. You kind of don't know what's going on with them. The colorings just I find kind of bland. That this might be my taste, but they just kind of almost like dare I say modern art, just weird. So not a super big fan of these. I did remember enjoying reading this book very much. And of course, when I was a young kid, it was just the cheap paperback version. Probably got it from the book club version. So I didn't get to see the artwork in here. But yeah, just not a fan. Actually, this is the first time I've really looked at these drawings in here, and they're just, I don't know, just a lot of reds, too much orange. Um, I mean, that one, I guess, is somebody's face. Hard to tell. So anyways, not a very good fan of those. So again, I'm being careful as I open these up. I don't want to when I start to feel the spine kind of resisting, I stop because I want to keep those spines pure. But hey, while we're at it, let's get this covered up. Again, any professionals out there that have any advice on how to redo these covers to keep them safe? This one's interesting. It has a much bigger flap than a lot of the other ones. That flap right there. Let's see here. I just don't know how to do these super great, so please forgive me, all of you artists out there. Okay, there we go. Here's that one. Let's go to book 2. Has the exact same cover, just the difference is it has part 2. Okay, so again, let's take this cover off to kind of protect it. Let's do something different. I noticed that these two are a little bit different. So let's pull off the covers of these two. Kind of do a comparison of them. Interesting. This inside, so the outsides appear to be exactly the same. Oh, get this up right. So it appears to be the same, but on the inside, very interestingly, so there is book 1 or volume 1, and there is volume 2. And you can see that they are definitely different. The volume 1 has looks like some wording from Stephen King. This one, interestingly, shows the number of editions of all of them. I didn't realize that. It shows all the number of editions. So, for example, the Christine, it's all of his books. Christine had a signed 1,000 first editions. The Dark Tower, the Gunslinger, that one is the moneymaker. The Dark Tower Gunslinger has 500 copies. It goes all the way through to Douglas E. Let's see here. Goes all the way through the Talisman and shows them. So, also has Desperation. I guess that ties into this series. But anyways, let's be careful with those. And let's go into volume 2. Again, the only difference is it shows volume 2. This one, disappointing. I thought that they would be signed, but the second volumes of these limited are not signed by the author. So kind of unfortunate. It doesn't seem fair. There's 2 books. There should be 2 signatures and limited pages, but there's not. Let's go through some of the drawings in here. Again, watercolor looking pages, very abstract. I guess that's supposed to be a lobstrosity over there in the corner. Naked lady in the corner there. Oh, that looks like lovers in the corner there. So I can't remember if that's Roland hooking up with Suzanne. Let's go here. Again, some very weird, cartoonish almost. So I should stop ripping on these. I'm sure there's somebody out there that loves them. More, another maniacally smiling guy. It's kind of fun as I open this. I hear the pages kind of split. First time this book's ever been opened. So there's some more of that. Very cool. This is the closest it's going to come to ever having fingers on this. It'll be a sin if somebody actually read this book. I hope that never happens. Another one looks kind of like the Firestarter. Might come from the Firestarter. But more, see, it's just kind of this red orange watercolor blathering. I mean, I guess it's shows pictures, you got to look at it closer, but I guess I'm lazy when it comes to art. I don't want to have to work so hard to understand what it is I'm seeing. So this one goes pretty far back with the next page. Let's see, seems to be like not very many more pages. Oh, there's one. Looks like the Dark Tower. We're starting to see some Dark Tower image. There we go. Here's some fire, all that red again, and oranges. Sorry if I missed a couple pages in there, but there they are. Let's get these boxed back up. Volume 2 with volume 2 cover. Again, interesting. These flaps are a lot bigger than most books. So let's see if we can get this boxed up without too much damage. Let's go with the back flap first. Give that one a little bit of a break. So I found it's very important to make sure that the dust jacket is completely even with the on both sides for when you're trying to slip it in, because as I've shown on other ones, the damage comes from when you're slipping it in, you kind of hit up there. This one gives a little bit more space than a lot of the other ones, so it's a lot easier to get in. Some of them are really tight, especially Drawing of the Three was exceptionally tight and was really hard to not kind of ding that edge. So let's get that on there. All right, young, good-looking Stephen King, let's get you put away and keep you safe. Okay. So sometimes I can get them. Yeah, this one's nice. It's got a little bit more space for the books, which I like. It helps to protect the dust covers. But there you go. Number 180 of Wizards and Glass. Thank you.